Hello. I am here to explain today how rollouts caused far more harm than they ever were worth in gymnastics, and we were stupid as a community and a sport to continue with them as long as we did. Our job as coaches is to keep our students away from dangerous skills and unsafe conditions. I never did a rollout. I am thankful I never did a rollout. But I have seen people do rollouts. I have watched people do rollouts. I have done the research on people getting hurt during rollouts and how often people got hurt during a rollout. If you aren't sure what a rollout is, you're in luck, because I brought back my demonstrator, Sally the Sloth. A rollout is almost the complete antithesis of what a landing is supposed to be. Now, a regular landing is straight up and down, tight, tall, as I have said. But a rollout landing is when, instead of stopping when you're supposed to stop and landing appropriately like a normal human being, you decide to do an extra half flip and roll out of it, putting your head, back, neck, arms in danger. You are supposed to hit perfectly and roll. That is an extremely hard feat. It's terrifying. It belongs in the circus more than it does in gymnastics. If, for any reason, you stick your head out, as I will further go into later, you will snap. That's your head where your head's not supposed to be. Or, if your arms were out too far, you could land like that and both your shoulders straight out. Or if you flip too far and land like this, that's probably the best option I've discussed so far, because you're just going to land flat and knock the air out of you. It's still not going to feel good, because even if you land here, back problems. Rest of your days. According to the Fig Code of Points, the Thomas Salto, which was one of the highest graded rollout skills in the Code of Points prior to all rollout skills being banned, only scored one grade higher than just a regular back double full. A Thomas Salto was a back full and a half with a rollout, I'm pretty sure. You were spending the same amount of time in the air and getting almost the same amount of credit. A Thomas Salto was a D, double back double full is a C. That is worth more, but was it worth it? It wasn't worth it in 1979. Elena Mukina, a Soviet gymnast at the time aged 20, broke her neck and was left paralyzed from the neck down for the rest of her life because she stuck her head out on a Thomas Salto. This was, I'm trying to remember, just a few weeks before the Olympics in 1980. She ended her career doing a Thomas Salto. But despite this horrific incident, rollouts were not banned in women's gymnastics until 1992. 13 years after what was regarded as one of the best and coming up gymnasts at the time had her career ended. 13 years it took them to ban. Okay. Notice I said women's gymnastics. Men were still doing them until 2017. That's almost 40 years. 40 years. And that's just one injury. I picked one injury. There were so many more injuries in that whole scenario. those skills cause so many injuries, so much pain for one skill grade. To summarize, rollouts were not worth the risk and the effort taken to learn and perform them. As coaches, we have to evaluate skills that our gymnasts want or are trying to do to make sure the skills, like the rollout, should never exist in the first place. There's many of them. There's quite a few. I could go on all time. But it is our job to make sure that we create a safe environment for gymnasts and kids and professionals even. This was performed at the Olympics. This was not just, a 14-year-old running out like, oh. I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. We are supposed to prevent this. Coaches are supposed to prevent this. And the more I looked into it, the angrier and more distraught I was. And yep, thank you. Goodbye.